Hi, Karina here, your lucid living coach. How are you guys? I feel like it's been so long. I really needed some self-care, which is necessary, and a break from all the work I have been doing before. I feel totally refreshed. I hope it shows. And yeah, I'm here to give you the report for the full moon in Capricorn that is happening this week, literally on Wednesday, the 13th at 11:37 a.m. This is a transformational full moon as the moon is conjunct Pluto. Pluto is former planet of Scorpio. It is the planet of transformation. And this is hence the background that I'm using. It's the rising of the phoenix. After it's burned up, the ashes rise. This is this kind of energy. There will be some fast switches of fate and destiny that were unexpected because Uranus and the North Node are in Taurus, which is an earth sign. And this full moon is an earth sign. It is a cardinal earth. It gets things moving and it gets things going and it's quick and it doesn't think and it just goes. Okay. Now, the other earth sign that this will be affecting is Virgos. So all you Virgo risings, Virgo suns, and Virgo moons, there is going to be in each of those categories is going to be a different feel to the transformation that will be taking place this week and within the next couple weeks as the moon starts to wane into the new moon in Leo. So why don't you take out your charts right now and look at where 21 degrees of Capricorn is in your chart. Now, if you need a little help, and this isn't always accurate because times have everything to do, there's interceptions in charts where you'll have two zodiac signs covering two different houses and then some that aren't touching any. So I'm going to go through each of the signs after I talk a little bit about what other aspects are happening with this full moon, just to give you an idea of where this might be affecting you and how it will be affecting you. Now, this is a very intense transformation. This planet represents transformation, right? And Capricorns will be going through a transformation at this time because it's their full moon. Any full moon in a sign is going to feel it the most. And through this transformation at this time, we have Cancers, okay, and Capricorns. They're going to feel it the most. And then we'll have Virgos and Taurus. So if you are a Virgo rising and one of these earth signs, if you're a Virgo sun or moon or Taurus sun or moon or Capricorn sun or moon, you're going to be feeling this the most. Now, Pluto can dig up some deep emotional feelings that could be or feel very overwhelming. Okay. Some unconscious emotional triggers and deep buried stuff in your unconscious will be exposed. So if you've been feeling something, you're going to see it manifest in the real world. Now, try to give your emotions and your mind a break at this time because we could be overanalyzing, overthinking, just overstimulated in the area of our emotions and that deep transformation that we're feeling. Okay, transformation is not easy. You have to think of the butterfly before it becomes a butterfly and grows its wings. It's in its cocoon. And when it's in its cocoon, it's feeling safe, right? And when it starts to morph into the wings, it's painful. It's like woman giving birth. The child is in pain. The head's being squished through the canal. Okay, so transformation isn't easy. But once you get through the hard part, God blesses you with a new life and a new perspective. And yeah, just overall newness. So look at the bright side and look at the things that you've learned. look at the things that you want in your life, what you deserve, what you want to manifest, and what are opportunities are presented before you going forward. So dreams, intuitive insights are profound on our on our moods. So this is a good time to talk to a coach, a therapist, a psychiatrist, like someone really close to you, as we are discovering some new things. And we're wanting to have more deeper, meaningful conversations with the people around us. Now, Venus is square Neptune. Okay, Venus is in Gemini, excuse me, and Neptune is in Pisces. So this is this is not really seeing things clearly, right? Anything with Neptune is like the planet of illusion, delusion. It rules Hollywood. And Venus rules abundance and love and beauty and relationship and partnership. And so there's things that we're not seeing clearly in love, in partnership, in relationship that may come up at this time. So also feelings of maybe poor self-image or feelings of insecurity about yourself or the way that you look, which will distort your reality in intuiting the world around you. And then from there, you could, create these relationship difficulties because we're like projecting out there this negative experience. You could experience disappointments in your love life by forming a distorted image of someone, okay? And then we have a tendency to over idolize our romantic interests and ignore the obvious faults. And these are the things that we'll start to see at this time. This specific transit will most likely leave most disappointed, okay, taken advantage of. But any relationships that were already kind of on shaky or faulty ground will crumble and fall. So yeah, and also like love affairs at this time, like if you're sneaking around someone's back, it's not a good time because Pluto is, kind of this sneaky Scorpio energy, and the moon in Capricorn is full and it's illuminating this area. And yeah, so it will be difficult to hide. More susceptible. Okay, so we're more susceptible to alcohol and drug substance abuse. So for regular users, please be mindful and aware of overdosing. All right, Mercury sextile Uranus. So our daily routines can take a detour and or a new or unexpected direction. We are learning new things, making new friends, and meeting new people. So it is a great time for socializing. Stay tuned into your intuitive flashes and dreams. There's a lot of insight happening there because our psychic talents will be heightened at this time. I'd like to read a little bit before I get into each zodiac sign. This is the inside degrees for Capricorn at 21 degrees, and that is the full moon at this time. So a stately old house in a ruined condition. So karmic entanglement, which is crazy that that's the first word, is karmic, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is the karma planet. So there is a lot of karmic cycles ending and a lot of new karmic cycles beginning. For every ending, there's a new beginning. So karmic entanglement in patterns, syndromes, and worlds which have no future. Dwelling in worlds apart, the worlds gone by, intent upon salvaging the essence spark of what once was there and claims your allegiance still. You are heavily drawn back in a virtual stupor or enchantment of following out a script, fulfilling a fate. Every line written ahead of time, starchy and formal. haunted and intrigued, bound up with what would seem to be no longer happening, yet inwardly brooding, all pervasive upon the reverberations and echoes of what went wrong, of what was lost, of the severance and the tragedies, doomed to stay in the lost places until divine spirit intervenes. Self-sentenced to limbo, half glad of it and half miserable and full of longings. So, I mean, that's pretty obvious that there are some karmic entanglements, some things that were kind of there, and we could feel that they were there, but we were waiting for divine intervention to really push us forward or to show us the path forward, right? Okay, this is my juice. So naturally, full moons are times of release and times of release, and they're times of forgiveness and releasing. Okay, so anyone that has hurt us or harmed us in any way or whatever, it's a time of forgiveness and releasing it. And just because you forgive doesn't mean that you need to allow that energy back into your life. Okay, but you're doing it for your own well-being, so you can make room for things that that are worth your time and efforts to come in. So now I'm gonna go through all the zodiac signs and where it will be affecting. Let's see here. Okay, first I'm going to start with Capricorn. Capricorn, this full moon on Pluto is happening in your first house. So expect to turn the corner in one way or another with your personal or your professional life. Intense feelings about your appearance or stresses and strains in a relationship. So the messages is the need to focus on yourself at this time. This can be a time when you realize you've been too focused on someone else, and it's time to focus on yourself for a while. All right. Next, we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius, this is happening in your second house of resources, how you provide for yourself. So breathe through any financial dramas at this time and focus on finding a solution. Intense feelings about your financial security and stability and about your self-worth. What do you do for yourself financially? And what do you do for others? There's your self-worth and what you think you're worth as a person. If you've been too focused or dependent on someone else, now is the time to bring your attention back to your own situation. All right, we have Scorpio risings. Scorpio risings, this is happening in your third house of communications. You could say more than you mean to. Intense feelings about siblings and neighbors, and about whether or not you should be honest about how you feel. Full moons remind you that there is a lot of work to do close to home, things that need to be taken care of, and items on your to-do list to check off. Express yourself. Resolutions regarding a legal issue could come up, and trips away and job opportunities abroad. Where do you want to be? Here or there? All right, rising Libras. Pay attention to what your family needs and your own needs for personal space and private time. The emotional alert is intense feelings about your family. Bless them. So perhaps your family needs to spend more time Maybe you need to spend more time with your family. Don't dread this. Rather, see this as a chance to sort out some outstanding upsets. Your personal life and your career. Maybe you're a driven person who forgets to have a personal life and neglects their partner or friends while working long hours. So you definitely want to balance that, Libras. You want to balance that 4th house of home with that 10th house of career. Now we have Virgos, Virgo risings, Virgo moons, and Virgo suns. But this is all Virgo risings because the rising lets me know what house this full moon is in. So this full moon is in your 5th house of love, romance, and children. So check whether you're having enough fun. Fun is good for us. Okay. So there could be some issues to do with children, a child, your love life, or a creative project that you're working on. You can be pouring your heart out, perhaps because you're sad or because you have a lot of emotions to download. Being yourself, speaking up, and letting the world know what you have to offer. If a love affair ends now, it's doing so at the right time because the right relationships are waiting right around the corner. Okay, Leos, Leo risings. This is happening in your 6th house. This house is about your health and daily routines. Find a way to bring peace into your life. There could be some intense feelings about what you do every day to earn a living. It can also have fears around your health. So if you have long given up a bad habit, such as smoking and drinking or partying too much, this full moon is your annual chance to start again when it comes to taking care of yourself, mind, body, spirit. Routines are our friends for this full moon. I must say, I have been having a little much fun and not doing so much work. So this full moon will get me back on the work clock. All right, Cancers. This is happening in your 7th house of business partnerships and partnerships, marriages, and balancing yourself with others. Expect relationships issues to come to the forefront. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about your love life. This full moon could also bring closures. So if you're in a friendship or a relationship that is ending now, you can proceed knowing that you are finishing up things at exactly the right time, celestially speaking. The 7th house puts a spotlight on how you feel about someone important to you. So this is a good time to practice your negotiations and compromising skills. All right, so we have Gemini risings. This is happening in your 8th house. This is the house of transformation, inheritance, and taxes and loans. So sort out your feelings about sex and money. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about your sex life and your finances. The full moon is most certainly the time to redress the balance. The problem is that when we give too much, but don't know how to take, we actually mess with the natural laws that govern the free flow. So release any issues that you have from maybe the last year that has to do with death and rebirth, reinvention and transformation. And it also may bring about maybe being your own boss financially versus depending on others to pay to pay you, like a salary, your debts, or anything of those matters. Financial windfalls and inheritance aren't out of the question when this part of your chart is active. So make sure to say your I love yous to the people that are closest to you at this time, because you never know when they're going to go. So rising Tauruses, this is happening in your 9th house of furthering education, foreign lands, and spiritual connections and religions. So deal with the worries that you have connected to study, travel, and the great cosmic quests. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about where you're going and your life philosophies. If you've been fussing too much over the details of your last problems or tasks, sometimes that's just the delay tactic. And we need to take a step back and look at the big picture of where we are and what we want to be. So we'll probably need to release some stuff. Think about whether you want to get away from it all or stay right here. Being torn between home and away, small ideas versus big ideas. How to find a balance. This is a chance for you to let go of fear and limiting ideas and to accept the concept of a power bigger than all of us out in the great unknown. All right, Aries, this full moon is happening in your 10th house of career and legacy. So sort out the issues related to your work. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about your career and professional trajectory. Even if the work has been a source of annoyance lately, don't give up. For some, a work situation or project comes to an end now. Don't panic. The universe usually will vacuum out things that are not for us at that time anymore. There's always a time and place for people, places, and things to be in our life. And then God takes over and new things come in. So maybe commit to your goal, your workload and how it impacts your home life, your duties at home, and all that you need to do to get ahead in your career may arise at this time. So who you are inside versus who you are outside in the world as someone who does or doesn't seek to achieve. So we want to get that balance between home and work. All right, Pisces, this is happening in your 11th house. 11th house is networks, friendships, future, marriages, innovations, and dealing with any upsets with friendships. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about friendships and unfulfilled dreams. This 11th house is reminding you that you need to find a balance between indulging in a bit of what you fancy and remembering that the people in your life also need some attention from you. Whatever you do now for someone else, you'll get extra karmic brownie points. So what issues to release? What you've been wishing for? Are there dreams that don't seem to manifest or friendships that are troubling you? The tug of war is who you are versus who your friends are. Are you reflecting you're out into the universe who you are? Our friendships and our relationships are mere reflections of who we are. So if you don't like your friends, you might want to take a looky inside and have some alone time and readjust some things within yourself. How to balance? Well, the 11th house is balanced with the 5th house. The 5th house is all about your love, creativity. Maybe start a creative project if you don't like the partnerships around you. Focus on yourself for a while, Pisces risings. All right, last but definitely not least, my lovely Aquariuses. This full moon is happening in your 12th house of the unconscious, hidden things, hidden enemies, and isolation and addiction, hospitalization and jail time. So take a time out. This full moon can bring up intense feelings about your secret self. Life has probably felt very busy lately, and no one can blame you for wanting to take some time out, right? Sometimes we just need some downtime. Feeling a little bit down in the dumps, but the fact is they're likely just exhausted after the efforts of keeping up with the demands of daily life. Where you may have been sabotaging yourself with your own behavior. The best thing about this 12th house full moon is that it forces you to look at where you may have been sabotaging yourself with your own behaviors. Get it? Got it. Good. Good news is that when this full moon takes place in this part of your chart, it's a wonderful chance to identify that behavior, to see it for what it is and let it the fuck go. So forgive other people for anything that they've done to you, and forgive yourself for anything that you've done to others. All right, that is all I have for the zodiacs. I'm so glad that I got to go through those real quick. I will start jumping on the new moon and Leo video this week, so it's not super late. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for allowing me to have a break and not being too upset. People that actually look forward to my videos. All right, guys, I think I'll end with a card reading. So I'm going to pick from the Animal Spirit deck first. With this full moon. Ooh, hummingbird. Look at that. Hummingbirds are such the summer bird, the summer tiny bird. So positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Inside this tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. I have those hummingbird feeders. I love my hummingbirds. This is the sacred elixir springing from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, every moment worth savoring. When in balance, smart, curious, loves to learn. When out of balance, pushy, insistent, and sharp. And to bring into balance, take a class. Oh, that's a good message. All right, the next I will pull from the Flower of Life. Flower of Life, full moon, and there's my hummingbird. Full moon. We got knowing. Woo, oh, knowing. Within you resides great treasures, vast reserves of strength, courage, wisdom, compassion, and love. Open your heart and acknowledge your treasures that live within, for this calls forth infinite treasures from out there. You have so much worth. Listen to the whispers from your heart, for maybe it's time to create the life your soul has been nudging you toward. Become aware and sense your body. Connect deeply with your breathing. Imagine you become your breath as it moves into its own natural rhythms. Allow thoughts to float by your mind. There is no need to connect to them. Just feel all being as it is. Open your heart and feel into the very being of you. Move through your day and night in the presence of the knowing. And then I got crafting. So definitely use your hands to craft up something. It really helps, ground you and put your focus elsewhere when such intense energies are coming, because August 1st is when Uranus and the North Node and Mars are all conjunct at 18 degrees of Taurus. So actually this full moon is really setting the stage for that shift, this unexpected shift that is happening at the beginning of August. Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling that cryptocurrency is going to spike. There's definitely something that's going to happen with our value system, our money system. So it could be like a complete fail or a fall of the stock market, which that would suck. But hopefully, in contrast, cryptocurrency will skyrocket. That'd be nice. But there's definitely going to be some crazy shifts that are happening in our value systems. Unexpected for sure. So I got the divine disguise, which is pretty appropriate for the moon being conjunct Pluto. Some blessings are obvious: the door that opens, the person who says yes, and the instant success of an idea. But not all blessings are insistently recognizable. Some blessings are so veiled that at first you might consider them to be an unwanted development. A concealed blessing is either already at work in your life or on its way. Don't worry if you feel like things aren't working out as they should. Soon enough, the disguise will be dropped and the blessed unmasked in all of its beauty. So blessings are the mysterious workings of the universe. There is help there to help us along our unique life path, to live our truths and to fulfill our potential. The universe has the knack for knowing just what it is we need, even when sometimes we might think we need something altogether different. This is how it can be that something we resist and reject in our lives can become the very thing that we most grateful for later on. We realize it has been a blessing masked, something actually helping us, even though it might have come in a form of a challenge or struggle before we eventually gain great benefits from it. The Oracle of the Divine Disguise brings you a positive message and prediction for your future. It brings you the promise of peace of mind and the realization that the universe does really know what it's doing. It's in your corner. It's on your side, cheering you on and helping you avoid unnecessary pitfalls, even if you don't know they exist. The Oracle indicates that the real beauty of a situation isn't obvious to you yet. It could be a delay or change in plans that turns out to be in your favor, even if at the time you aren't sure it signals failure. It could be the wrong person saying no, so the right person can say yes. It could be being blocked from tuning back to your past, so you must continue forward into the magic of your future. Whatever your hidden blessing, the Oracle of Divine Disguise tells you that you are soon going to realize just how loved and helped you are in all areas of your life. When this oracle appears, you are being told specifically that you don't need to worry. Even that which appears to be most troublesome is going to reveal itself to be working in your favor. So say the following aloud: the universe, in all its grace, removes the mask and reveals its face, shining down with love for me. helping me become all that I could be. You know, it kind of reminds me of that song, Divinely Guided, Everybody Knows. May the hand doing the evil be exposed. And yeah, that's the song. I love that song. I just can't, I'm so bad with names. I'm really trying to get better at that. All right, so I will do, okay, all right. Got another job to get to. Okay, so I'm going to pull one tarot, or whatever tarot wants to come out, roll the magic dice. Virgo, 5th house, Jupiter. Oh my God, that's quite the message, because this full moon is happening in the 5th house, which Virgo came up, which is crazy. And the 5th house came up, but Jupiter is there. So this is a message for all you rising Virgos out there that have had a huge shift in your love life and the life of your children, that there is so much blessings that are on the way to you, that yes, you might be feeling in the mud and the mucks right now, but knowing that it's all divine intervention, because you look, the universe and God wants to bless you with something so much better. So keep that in mind during this time. We have the Ace of Wands. This is a great opportunity. You're going to get some pretty special ideas flowing within your life at this time. Felix, Felicious, power symbol to create lucky serendipitous events. I'm sorry, I can't read. So that is the message. So this is about new opportunities, growth potential, and inspiration. So there's a lot coming in here, even though that it feels mucky right now. There's a lot that is manifesting that we don't see, because we did get this divine disguise, which is this Pluto. Things are being revealed to us. And we are in the knowing. Okay, and there's a lot of serendipitous events and people that are going to be crossing our path. I mean, like I said, with this Mercury sextile Uranus, we have a lot of new people coming in our life. The Venus square Neptune, we weren't seeing people clearly and situations clearly, and Pluto. The moon is exposing Pluto and all the secrets and the depth. So, and like all of this is happening for our divine path is opening up for us. A lot of the karmic stuff is ending and wrapping up. Cycles are wrapping up. And yeah, just stay focused on what is working in your life. And if there are things that aren't working in your life, make action, because we are in cardinal energy. Make action and time to change those situations that are not working for you. All right, guys. Karina, your Lucid Living Coach. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe, and the more, the merrier. And like the video if you like, and please share with your friends and family. And yeah, be blessed. All right, guys. Peace out.